Okay, so at this point, you have had your visit with the patient. You've entered any needed medications, orders, consults, and imaging. And now it's time to convert your note to a progress note and code and sign the note. So again, we talked about this previously. The note is set up as a 1Tickler. This is how you prepare your note prior to the visit. So to convert that from a 1Tickler to a progress note, you're going to go up here to the right-hand corner and click on Change. You'll see that 1Tickler is highlighted. You'll go up to Primary Care Progress Note and you'll click OK. This is extremely important here. It is asking you whether you want to clear the previous boilerplate text. The answer is no. If you hit yes, all of the note that you have just written will go completely bye-bye and you'll have to start from scratch. So this will become second nature to you, but you always want to hit no. So you'll hit no, and now you can see it's been switched over from primary care progress, a 1Tickler to a primary care progress note, and you are now ready to code and sign your note. So why is coding important? Coding is important for a few reasons. One, it's important for payment purposes. So physicians still get paid based on the amount of visits that they have. So if you want to get paid the correct amount of money, you will want to code your notes correctly. And two, you'll want others to see the correct amount of workload that you're doing. So if you undercode, it'll look like you're not doing as much work as you're doing. If you're overcoding, that's equally troublesome because it's unethical and you could get into a lot of trouble for making it seem like you're doing more work than you actually are. So it's very important that you code correctly, and we certainly are here to help you learn how to do this throughout your residency. So now that you've changed it from a 1Tickler to a primary care progress note, you will right-click anywhere in the note and you will hit Sign Note Now. You will get missing encounter information. You'll click OK. And the two tabs that you will be working on will be Visit Type and Diagnoses. So under visit type, the vast majority of your patients will be established patients, so that's automatically highlighted. If by chance this is a new patient visit, you can switch to that. But again, most of your patients will be established patients. And here you will click anywhere between a brief visit and comprehensive. This is essentially a 1 through 5 coding system that you may have heard of throughout your medical school. So most of your visits will be coded as a expanded problem focused or a number 3. That is just sort of a standard visit. If, for instance, the patient came in for one specific issue, they were having a gout flare, and that's really all that you focused on, that could and should be coded as a problem focused or a number 2. If, for instance, the patient came in and they had multiple complaints and you did a complete social, family history, and you did a full physical exam and your assessment and plan was extremely detailed, you could potentially code that as a detailed vesting, a number 4 here. But again, the vast majority of your appointments should be coded as a number 3. Then you will come down here to the service connected box. Now, this patient is just sort of not a great example, but is not actually a veteran. But if this patient was a veteran, which the vast majority of our patients are, you would have the option of clicking yes or no for service connected. So service connection is a condition that either resulted from their service, and a common one would be post-traumatic stress disorder, unfortunately a common complication of their service. And so if this visit was related to PTSD and the patient was service connected, you would click yes for that. And the reason that matters is that if the visit is related to a service connected condition, any of the co-pays are waived for that visit. In addition to conditions that are result from their service, patients can also be service connected for conditions that were simply just diagnosed during their service. An example of that is obstructive sleep apnea. Another example is people who have flat feet. These are not conditions that resulted from the service, but the patient complained about them during their service. They went to the medic, and it was documented, and so they also received a service connected for that. So service connected is either directly related to their service or simply a condition that was diagnosed during their service. Once you've clicked yes or no for service connected related condition, you'll come down here to providers. My name is already highlighted. Let's say that this is actually a visit that one of my residents, Belim Senman, did. So both the resident and the attending should be listed under providers. Now, if the primary should always be the attending, but if the primary is not on the correct provider, you can very easily change that by highlighting the provider and clicking primary. You can see how it switched from my name to Belim's name. Again, the attending should always be listed as primary. Then you will go over to diagnoses. And so let's say this visit was mainly related to hypertension management. You can either click on hypertension here, and that will bring that down to the diagnoses, or you can click on other diagnoses, and you can manually enter hypertension. So this gets a little tricky, but you can go in here and you can click the one that it's most related to, let's say hypertensive heart disease without heart failure. Okay, so that will enter in there. And then you will click OK. Oh, see, and it will let us know we didn't do something correct. So we have to go back in, and it's because we didn't click this button, whether the visit was related to MST or not. So then you'll click OK. It'll allow you to sign it, and now your note will be signed. You can scroll down to the bottom. This is the timestamp, so this is when I signed the note. So that is how we convert the 1Tickler to a primary care progress note, how we code and sign our